Okay, today we are going to add our focal point area, which is going to be about a pattern. Your pattern can be something found from nature. It can be inspired by things in your backyard. You may use geometric shapes, but our focal point area is going to be a pattern. All right, so here I was looking at the pattern on a zebra. Every zebra has a stripe pattern that is different. So I sort of took an abstraction from that and I filled the shape there. Now when I have completed the drawing, I think the edge of the circle here, the edge of the focal point will show up, so I'm not going to worry right now that it kind of disappears white into white because we're going to fill the background today also. The second thing is filling the background space. So using a ruler or a straight edge, I started at the intersection of two shapes and I created a line. So in this drawing, this was my first line. So I went to the edge of the paper. And I decided to have all the lines start there in this area and fan out. So let's just go ahead and add to that pattern. I don't want to get really huge spacing, so the changes in the space between the lines need to make sense visually. Just like if I was driving a race car, I would maybe go from 0 to 65 in 3.2 seconds or faster. But this is not the race car, so I have to kind of pay attention to how I'm adding the lines. And you'll notice right here that I'm at the edge of a shape, so I'm lining up my ruler with that starting point. And since this is a small space, I'm just going to come ahead, and my ruler will want to kind of slip off that starting point, so I have to keep checking it to make sure that it's there. Okay, so now I'm going to move over here to this point, and you can see that here's the starting line, and I've added these shapes, and this looks a little empty right here, so let's add one more line here. Okay, all right, and then this one does not come from the intersection of a shape, but I wanted to kind of direct attention back to the middle, so I started here and brought a group out, and I started here and brought a group out. Now, what I have to be aware of is that I don't just want the same kind of pattern in each area. So now it's time to change the line direction. So I'm going to come here to this starting spot where two or more circles intersect each other, and I'm going to create a change in the line direction. So it's going to look a little bit like a zigzag line. All right? It doesn't really matter if I build out first or in first. And on this series of lines, I'm going to try as much as possible to keep the lines parallel. So a good way to do that is to start with the ruler lining up with the edge. And it works really great if you have a ruler. However, you can do the same thing if you're using the paper straight edge. So if you don't have an actual ruler, you can go ahead and do using this same thing using the paper straight edge. It will take time. It's important to not be in a hurry and fill the space. As I'm building my areas of line pattern, I want to keep in mind that I want variety of line, and I'm going to add one more line here, and then I'm going to show you some examples of what I mean by that. Okay, all right, so let's take a minute and take a look at another drawing. All right, so here you'll notice these two areas, this area and this area, the lines are close together. So that's our small example. In this section, the lines are medium, and here the lines are wide. So throughout the drawing, I have several areas that are small. There are 3. I have several areas that are medium, and I have several areas where there are large. So it's important to have variety of line direction, but also of the spacing, so small, medium, and large. Okay, good luck.